In this episode of the Vikings, Dalvin Cook and Danielle Hunter were named the Vikings' two X Factors leading to the 2022 season, and Kirk Cousins got mad snubbed on Chris Sims' top 40 quarterbacks list. This is the Vikings. The Vikings rode to 500 wins.
The Broncos I've liked ever since Peyton Manning played there.
Okay, so let's get into this. So Dalvin Cook and Danielle Hunter were ranked the Vikings' two X Factors leading to the 2022 season, meaning they're the two guys. Well, really, Danielle Hunter, he was the one that was really named the X Factor. Someone went around the whole league, took one player from every single team, and named them the X Factor of that team, meaning they're the player that who, if they're successful or their failures, will have the biggest impact on their team's success. And Danielle Hunter was the one for the Vikings, which makes sense. Like, over the past few years, what I've noticed, often the team with a better pass rush will win, or like if we can't get our pass rush going, we're not winning the game, and if the other team can get their pass rush going, we're not winning the game. Like, the pass rush is the lifeblood of our success often. So, first of all, Dalvin Cook was ranked third in the NFL among explosive runners by the NFL's Nick Shook, according to Next Gen Stats. So, an explosive run is a run of 10 plus yards. So, he had Dalvin Cook had 36 carries of 10 or more yards, which are explosive runs, which ranked third in the league, I assume, and which accounted for over 14% of his carries last season. He also had 54 runs reaching 15 miles per hour, which I think is just a really random stat, but that did account for over 21% of his carries, which was second best in the league. And really, Dalvin Cook has had two great seasons in 2019 and 2020. 2019, he had over 1,100 yards, and 2020, he had over 1,500 yards, led the league. And then last year, he was injured a lot, and that's when Alexander Mattison came in and blew the sheets off. He was so good in the however many games he played until the game against Pittsburgh comes, and it was one of the most important games of the season for us. It really kept our playoff hopes alive. It really wasn't alive. It was just like, if we lost, our playoff chance would go down to under 10% or something like that. So we basically were knocked out of the playoffs. It didn't help in the end at all, because we lost to Green Bay and the Rams after that. But yeah, for some reason the team decided it was better for us to start Dalvin Cook over Alexander Mattison when Dalvin Cook wasn't even fully recovered from his injury yet, but they decided it's a must-win game. We need to get our best running back out there, even though Alexander Mattison was lights out in his games. It would have been a much better decision to put him in, but Dalvin Cook ran for over 200 yards, which was the best. I think it was the best game of his career by rushing yards. I'm not sure about rushing touchdowns. I can't remember how many he got, but he had an incredible game. And Alexander Mattison was actually reported, he literally fell down and was in tears because the team wasn't starting him. And he said that, the team that doesn't believe in him, which, okay, we do. I mean, I don't know, maybe considering we started an only somewhat recovered running back over another running back who was lights out in the games that he subbed in for our injured running back. I don't know. I think Alexander Mattison was pissed that we weren't starting him, and he even started unfollowing the Vikings and taking out his Vikings-related stuff. He was sort of rumored to start to want a trade. We haven't traded him yet because, thank goodness, he's been amazing. He's been the perfect definition of a running back that you need to perform well while your starter is out. And he has overachieved for that. Like if you're a second string running back, you want that your team just wants you to play solid while you get the starters out. 50, 60, 70 yards, 60, 70, maybe 80 yards a game is great. He ran for over 100 yards every single game he started. 100 yards. And we decided to not start him that game. Whatever, that's getting way off track. Also, Danielle Hunter was named our team's main X factor mostly because our pass rush is so vital to the Vikings' success. Our pass rush has been was the lifeblood of our defense between 2015 and 2018 when we had one of the best defenses in the league, especially like 2017 we had the best defense in the league. 2016 and 18 we had a top 5 defense, and we had incredible pass rushers every single one of those years. We had Danielle Hunter, we had get over 12.5 sacks in 2016, and then also 14.5 in 2018. That was the last year we had a good defense. After that, our defense has been trash. We had an average defense in 2019, but that's average, like very average, right? I think we ranked like 14th or 17th or something in the league for defense run and pass, and then 2020 everything fell off. And then, what's else? Oh yeah, so, if you haven't really understood Danielle Hunter's injuries, like what really happened, so his first injury in 2020 was a cervical spine disc hernia. That's like 18 words to describe a neck injury in 2020, and he had a chest pectoral tear in 2021. And listening to Purple for the Win, he's talked about his injuries a lot whenever he's talked about our pass rush, especially with Darius Smith now, which I want to be excited for this next season because of that, but at the same time, I made that mistake last year, being really excited for the season, and we had an even worse season than we did in 2020. Yeah, I tried looking up. I wanted to look up like some more information about his 2 injuries. I didn't really try at all. Whatever. But I found on I think it was like Draft Shark. Okay, for a second I thought that wasn't a word. I don't know what. Here it is. Okay, try to show you. This is what I pulled up. It was, Draft Sharks. Gosh, that just sounds so much like Draft Sharks that's why I was so confused that was a word. Danielle Hunter is actually, I think this is actually technically someone undersized for a defensive lineman. He's 6'5", which is I think pretty average, but then 252. DJ Wanham is 265, and that's undersized. So this is like a big linebacker. But then again, he runs a 4.57, so he's speedy as heck. Anyways, I'll show you. This is Danielle Hunter's injury index, low risk, chance of injury in 2022, 5% chance that he misses at least 2 quarters. I'm not sure if that's per game or just overall in the season. Here, chance of injury per game, 0.3%. That's 1 through 17. Wait, 1 through 17 times the square root of 1 minus percent injury per season. I have no idea what that is. Projected games missed in 2022, 0.3 durability, 5 ability to produce despite relatively minor injuries, 5 being most durable. Yeah, here, injury history. Middle of August 2020, this is during training camp, he suffered a cervical spine disc hernia, which caused him to miss the whole of the 2020 season. And I remember I was going out to lunch with my older brother, and he mentioned that to me, and I was worried because we were playing the Packers in the first week, and he just goes, Mike Zimmer's going to pull something out of his butt for it because he's a defensive mastermind, which, I think yes, he technically is, but the past 3 years have said anything but that. And then October 31st, this is the Halloween night of 2020. Oh yeah, it was Halloween night 2021 because I heard it was actually during. Yeah, it was during our game against Dallas. He had a chest pectoral tear, grade 3. So I'm guessing that I don't know what the grades are for that. Hunter suffered a torn pec injury in Minnesota's loss to Dallas and will miss the remainder of the 2021 season. So I think this came out around then, considering the way he talks about it, because he says will miss, not and he missed, whatever. Okay, let's get on with this. So, as I mentioned, Danielle Hunter's stats, he's gotten 12 and a half sacks 3 of the last 4 years between 2016 and 2019. Those were his prime years. 2016, 12 and a half sacks. I had no idea how good he did that good. I remember looking up his stats and seeing he had a down year in 2017. And I basically thought, well, yeah, that was the year that Everson Griffin blew up. And then 2018, Danielle Hunter did. And I look at the stats. Well, first of all, Everson Griffin was actually really good even before 2017. I think he had like 15 sacks in 2014 or something like that. It was crazy. Anyway, so Danielle Hunter gets 12 and a half sacks in 2016, and then in 2017 he had a down year. That was the year Everson Griffin came in and got 13 sacks. And then in 2018 and 19 he got 14 and a half sacks both the years. That's 29 sacks in 2 years. 20 plus sacks in 2 years is great. That's almost 30 sacks in 2 years. I've kept having to put my arm down inside my notes on my phone. And then let's get into the last thing. Kirk Cousins ranked 16th in Chris Sims' top 40 list. The first thing you may think is, darn, that could be kind of low, because he could really rank him top 10 if you wanted to. Some like the Kirk Cousins lovers like me will rank him top 10, while his haters might rank him like in the 20s. But then this might sound really reasonably good to you. So Chris Sims ranked him top 40 behind. Okay, these first two are absolutely stupid. Matt Ryan and Ryan Tannekill were ranked higher than Kirk Cousins. Literally, this space is right above Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is 16, Matt Ryan is 15, and Ryan Tannehill is 14, if I was correct. Mix those two up. Tannehill was 15, Matt Ryan was 14. So, let me read you off. Oh, yeah, and then the last two, and then, really, those two were stupid. He's twice as good as both of them combined. The second two he's better than them. One is Kyler Murray and the other is Derek Carr. Kyler Murray can run, but he throws like this, and he can't play good the last half of the season. Just like, what's his face? Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury has a long history of not being able to close out seasons. He's never won more than half the games of the last half of like any season since he started coaching. It's crazy. So, and then the last two are sort of iffy of whether you put him above or below them. One is Dak Prescott and the other is Lamar Jackson. I think Kirk Cousins obviously not as good of a runner as Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is in a league of his own. There's no one that comes close to Lamar Jackson based on running ability, but then passing wise, Kirk Cousins is better than Lamar Jackson. You cannot convince me otherwise. The only good passing year Lamar has had was 2019, and that was because teams had. Well, the reason he blew on 2019 was just teams had no idea how good he could be. Because in 2018, his rookie year, he passed for just over 1,200 yards and a little over 600 yards rushing. So I guess teams were just didn't realize how good he could actually be. And then Dak Prescott, they're really similar. if you're counting before 2021, Dak Prescott is not as good as Kirk Cousins, and that's no doubt about it. Honestly, it was like 2018 or 19. I thought Dak Prescott was literally a bad quarterback. I thought 2016 he was great, and after that he's been below average at best. But no, he's been above average every year, really. And now let's get to, here are the Chris Sims' top 16 quarterbacks. Number 16, Kirkie Jerome Ezekiel Cousins. I got that name stuck in my head because I watched too much Purple for the Win, and that's what he nicknames him. Kirkie boy. Number 15, Ryan Tannekill is disgusting. Number 14, Matty Ice, disgusting. 13, Deshawn Watson. I mean, but from what we've seen of him in the years he's played, yes, he is definitely better than Kirk Cousins, but being suspended for over an entire year, who knows how good he's going to be now. Number 12, Kyler Murray, stupid. Number 11, Derek Carr, stupid. Number 10, Lamar Jackson, should not be. Number 9, Dakota Prescott, that's his actually full name. Number 8, Tom Brady, that was a huge snub. I think the top 4 quarterbacks in the league, and really you can't really argue them, is what I would say is Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Tom Brady. Those are my top 4. And somehow he ranked Tom Brady below Choker Russell Wilson. I've given him that nickname ever since we beat him last year for the very first time, and then he got injured, so Mr. Unlimited, yeah, more like Mr. Very Limited. Number 6 is Matthew Stafford. That was the fakest cough ever. Number 5 is Aaron Rodgers. I get that nickname from MMG. Best man YouTuber ever. And then number 4, I can't remember the order, but it was Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Jay Herbo. Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow are not top 5 quarterbacks yet. I'd say my top 5 quarterbacks: Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, and then I would say after that, I think you could say either Russell Wilson or Matthew Stafford, or maybe just Joe Burrow. I don't think Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow are that high yet, though. Anyways, and now this is the last thing I want to get into. I pulled this up as I was looking through stories to cover today, because I realized I wanted to film a podcast before I play Madden, which I had the sickest game-winning touchdown yesterday. I was down 14-9 with 1 second left. I'll actually try to pull it up for you real quick. Okay, here it is. 3, 2, 1, okay.
Sit in for Jefferson, incomplete. He was covered by Kevin Byers. And down by 5, they've got to go for it here on 4th down. And he's got it. And he takes it in for the score on the game.
And then he quit right after that. That was beautiful. Easily my best play ever in Madden. In video games. That is really... Okay. Now, let's get into this last one. Jared Allen talks about his unforgettable career. I love what he says early on.
Success. In the back, this says party. Goes down in the arms. I don't know how you don't account for a guy that can sniff out a quarterback like number 69. So I started playing football. I mean, heck, I was probably playing in the front yard as soon as I could walk. Growing up in California, I like the Raiders, just guys like Halle, just smashing people. I kind of always were attracted to teams and guys that have those characteristics. The Jack Lamberts, Bruce Smith, Cornelius Bennett, the young blood.
Jack Lambert is horrifying to look at with his 18,000 missed teeth.
And I embraced it. That's what he brings to this defense.
Jack Lambert actually has some crowns or some dentures or whatever you call them that he wears normally, but during a game he doesn't wear them for the same reason that Shaquem Griffin wouldn't wear like a prosthetic arm, just because you don't want to have extra equipment that could hurt you easily.
It's pretty funny. It's actually heartbreaking and embarrassing. So watching the draft in my buddy's house, and I knew the Browns and the Chiefs said they're looking at me, and City Titans on the board. It's like one of the last picks of the third round. And all of a sudden my phone rings, a voice on the other side said, "Hey, this is Jeff Fisher." And I dropped my phone, jumped up, like, "Oh, I just got drafted by the Titans, yeah!" And I noticed someone else's name came across the screen. And all of a sudden, all my buddies came out of the back room laughing. They went in the back room, calling for a black number. Until I found out I was drafted by the Titans. And the next day I went to the Chiefs in the fourth round.
Wow. This is an example. I feel like all NFL stars were either drafted. The vast majority of them are either day 1 or day 3 picks. There are not many that are like second or third rounders. You have like guys like Richard Sherman and Russell Wilson who were drafted in like the 5th round. You have guys like Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs. Who else? What's his name? Tom Brady, who were drafted in the 5th, 6th rounds and undrafted. You guys like Tony Romo was undrafted, John Reynolds was undrafted, Adam Vinatieri was undrafted.
He said, "We want you to play the end for us." I made no mysteries about it. I told everybody there I knew they were starting. My first sack was against David Carr. Here, 3rd and 9 from the 32 for David Carr. Here comes Stills. There goes the pocket, and down goes Carr. There was no greater feeling when you come on that edge and you hit a quarterback, especially on the right side, the blind side, and you drive him into the ground, and 80,000 people in Arrowhead Stadium go nuts. Like, it just sends chills down your spine. You can't replicate that.
If you want to watch the full video, go to... I get all my Vikings news from either the Vikings.com or Purple for the Win, so go watch that. Actually, I'm liking this video, but we're going to end it right here. Not going to really Quarter Wordle, Weddle, Worldle, and Global today because I think those are not really interesting. You're watching a guy not talk for 3.5 minutes while trying to remember the words in it, whatever. Anyways, don't forget to, by the way, if you're still watching at this point, thank you so much. We're over 20 minutes now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell, comment what videos you'd like to see, and as always, never forget, the Packers will always suck, and Skull Vikings.